Every holiday, every birthday, every family gathering, the same words, the same looks, the same feeling of being the one who didn't quite fit. You're always the embarrassment. Nobody said it directly, not at first, but it was there, in the pauses, in the way conversations shifted when I walked into the room, in the careful way they explained what I did to their friends. Nathan's doing something with computers. We're not really sure what it is. I was 32 years old. I'd been building my company for 7 years, and my family still introduced me like I was unemployed. My brother James was a corporate lawyer, made partner at 30, had the corner office, the tailored suits, the prestigious firm that mom could brag about at her book club. My sister Rachel was a pediatric surgeon, saved children's lives, had the awards, the respect, the career that made dad tear up when he talked about her. My cousin David took over the family manufacturing business. Third generation, employed 40 people, had the legacy, the stability, the path that made sense to everyone. And then there was me, Nathan, the one who does something with computers. I'd started my company when I was 25, fresh out of college with a computer science degree and an idea that nobody understood. A project management app. Not for big corporations, for small teams, freelancers, remote workers, people who needed something simple but powerful. Why would anyone pay for that? Dad had asked when I told him. There are already apps for that. Not like mine, I'd said. He'd looked at me with that expression, the one that said he was trying to be supportive but really thought I was wasting my time. When are you going to get a real job? He'd asked 6 months later when I was living on ramen and working 18-hour days. This is a real job. I mean one with benefits, security, a future. This has a future, Dad. If you say so. That conversation set the template for the next 7 years. At Thanksgiving, we'd go around the table, everyone sharing what they were grateful for, what they'd accomplished. James would talk about his latest case, winning millions for his client, making partner, buying his second house. Rachel would talk about a complex surgery, a child's life saved, a medical conference where she was the keynote speaker. David would talk about the business, new contracts, expansion, hiring more workers. When they got to me, well, Nathan's still working on his app. At least he's trying. At least he's trying. Like I was a child who deserved a participation trophy for showing up. At Christmas, Mom would ask Rachel about her latest surgery, ask James about his career trajectory, ask David about the business. Then she'd turn to me. Still doing that computer thing? Yeah, Mom, still doing that. Maybe next year will be better for you. Better. Like this year had been a failure. Like every year was a failure because I wasn't wearing a suit to an office or performing surgery or running a factory. I'd stopped trying to explain what I did. Stopped trying to make them understand that my app had users, that it was growing, that I was building something real. Because every time I tried, I could see it in their eyes. The polite disinterest, the subtle disappointment, the unspoken question, when are you going to do something we can be proud of? Easter dinner, I sat at the end of the table, the spot they always saved for me. Not next to anyone important, not in the middle of the conversation, just there. Uncle Rick, Dad's brother, was holding court, talking about James's latest victory in court, about Rachel's promotion to chief of pediatric surgery, about David's business expansion into 3 new states. I'm so proud of all of you, he said, raising his glass. Look at what this family has accomplished. He gestured to James, to Rachel, to David. His eyes slid right past me, not hostile, not intentionally cruel, just unaware, like I wasn't there, like I didn't count. I smiled, nodded, sipped my wine, and felt that familiar ache, the one I'd been feeling since I was 25, the ache of being invisible in your own family. Then came Uncle Rick's 60th birthday party. Big event, rented venue, catering, open bar, 100 people, extended family, friends, colleagues. I almost didn't go, made up 3 different excuses in my head. But Mom had called. You have to come, Nathan, it's family. Rick would be disappointed if you weren't there. Would he? I wasn't sure Rick would notice if I wasn't there. But I went anyway. Wore my best button-down shirt. Not a suit. I didn't own a suit that fit anymore. Hadn't needed one. I arrived at 7. The party was already in full swing. James was there with his wife, surrounded by people wanting to hear about his latest case. Rachel was there with her husband, talking to a group about a groundbreaking surgery she'd performed. David was there with his fiancée, discussing business expansion with Uncle Rick's friends. I grabbed a beer and found a corner. Around 8, Uncle Rick stood up, clinked his glass, called for everyone's attention. "I want to make a toast," he said, his voice carrying across the room. "To my family, to my successful nieces and nephews. Look at what they've accomplished." He gestured broadly. At James, at Rachel, at David. James, making partner before 35. Rachel, saving lives every day. David, taking our family business to new heights. I couldn't be prouder. Everyone clapped, cheered, raised their glasses. Rick's eyes swept the room, landed on me for half a second, moved on. He didn't mention me, not even in passing, just skipped right over me, like I wasn't part of the family's success story. After the toast, James stood up, gave a speech about family values and hard work, about how Uncle Rick had taught him to never give up, to always strive for excellence. Everyone nodded, applauded. Rachel went next, talked about following your dreams, about how Uncle Rick had supported her through medical school, had believed in her. More applause. David thanked Rick for mentoring him, for teaching him the business, for trusting him with the family legacy. Standing ovation. Nobody asked me to say anything. Nobody looked at me expectantly. I was just there, in the corner, holding my beer, watching. After the speeches, I was standing alone near the bar when Aunt Linda walked past. Rick's wife. My aunt. Someone I'd known my entire life. She stopped, smiled at me. That sympathetic smile people give when they feel sorry for you. "You know, Nathan," she said, her voice gentle, almost kind. "It's okay that you're not successful like them. Every family has one. The embarrassment." She patted my shoulder. "Don't feel bad about it. We still love you." Then she walked away. Like she'd just given me a gift. Like she'd been understanding, compassionate. Every family has one. The embarrassment. I stood there, beer in hand, frozen, watching her walk across the room to join the celebration. And something inside me just clicked. Not anger, not rage, just clarity. I'd spent 7 years trying to prove myself to people who'd already decided I didn't matter. 7 years hoping they'd notice, hoping they'd ask, hoping they'd care. They didn't. They wouldn't. And I was done hoping. I finished my beer, set the glass on the bar, walked out of the party, drove home to my small apartment, sat on my couch, opened my laptop, and looked at my company's dashboard. The app had 73,000 active users. Revenue was growing 20% month over month. We'd just closed our Series B funding, $8 million. I had standing acquisition offers from 3 major tech companies. Offers I'd been sitting on, waiting for the right time. I pulled up the highest offer, $62 million. I stared at it for a long time. Then I opened my email and wrote to my lawyer. "Accept the offer. Let's close this deal." I hit send, closed my laptop. And for the first time in 7 years, I didn't care what my family thought, because I'd just decided something. They'd spent 7 years treating me like I didn't matter. I was about to spend the next chapter proving I didn't need them to. The deal closed 3 months later. $62 million. After taxes and splitting with my co-founders and early investors, I walked away with $23 million. $23 million. More money than James would make in his entire legal career. More money than Rachel would make in surgery. More money than David's family business was worth. And my family had no idea, because I didn't tell them. I took a month off, traveled, thought about what I wanted to do next. Then I came back and bought a house. Not just a house. The house. The one I'd been looking at for 2 years. The one I'd drive past sometimes just to imagine. Modern architecture, glass walls, open floor plan, 4 bedrooms, home office with floor-to-ceiling windows, huge backyard with a pool, guest house, 3-car garage. The kind of house that said, I made it, I paid cash, closed in 2 weeks, spent the next month making it perfect. Furniture, art, landscaping, pool guy, house cleaner, everything. It was beautiful, exactly what I'd imagined. Then I decided to have a housewarming party. Big one, catering, bartender, live acoustic music, the works. I sat down to make the guest list, started with my co-founders, the people who'd built the company with me, who'd believed in the vision when it was just an idea, added my mentor, the guy who'd advised me through every funding round, every difficult decision, every moment I'd wanted to quit, my college roommate, the one who'd let me crash on his couch when I couldn't afford rent, who'd invested his savings in my Series A even though it was risky, my best friend from childhood, the one who'd never once asked when I was getting a real job, who just believed in me, friends from my coding boot camp, from industry meetups, from conferences, people who'd supported me, encouraged me, celebrated small wins when nobody else was paying attention. I got to 75 names. Then I stopped, looked at the list, and realized something. My family wasn't on it. Not mom, not dad, not James, Rachel, David, Uncle Rick, Aunt Linda. None of them. I stared at the list for a long time. Part of me thought, you should invite them, their family. But another part remembered. Every, at least you're trying. Every, maybe next year. Every, still doing that computer thing. Every toast that skipped over me. Uncle Rick's 60th birthday. Aunt Linda's words. Every family has one. The embarrassment. I looked at the list again. 75 people who'd believed in me when it mattered. 0 people who'd treated me like I didn't matter. I closed my laptop without adding anyone. Sent out 75 invitations, 0 to family. And I didn't feel guilty. I felt free. The party was on a Saturday in June. Perfect weather. Sunny. 75 degrees. Not a cloud in the sky. I'd hired a catering company. Set up a bar in the corner of the backyard. Arranged for a local acoustic guitarist to play. Strung lights across the patio. The house looked incredible. People started arriving at 2. My co-founder Marcus came first, bringing his wife and a bottle of expensive whiskey. Holy crap, Nathan, he said, standing in the entryway, looking around. You actually did it. You bought the dream house. I did. It's perfect, man. I'm so happy for you. More people arrived. My mentor David, who'd advised me through every funding round. My college roommate Chris, who'd let me sleep on his couch when I couldn't make rent. My childhood best friend Tyler, who'd never once asked when I was getting a real job. Friends from coding boot camps, from industry conferences, from startup meetups, people who'd believed in me when nobody else did. By 3, the backyard was full. People drinking, eating, laughing, swimming in the pool. This place is incredible, someone said. You did it, Nathan. I'm so proud of you, man. Every compliment felt genuine. Every congratulations felt real. Because these people had been there, had seen the struggle, had supported me through the years when my family was asking when I'd get a real job. Around 4, Tyler pulled out his phone. We need photos of this, he said. This is legendary. He started taking pictures. The house, the party, groups of us laughing by the pool. Me standing in front of my new home, grinning like an idiot. I'm posting these, he said. This is too good not to share. Go for it, I said. I wasn't on social media much anymore. Too busy building the company. But I didn't care. Let people see. Let them know I'd made it. Tyler posted the photos to Facebook. Tagged me. Tagged a bunch of other people at the party. Caption: celebrating Nathan's incredible new house. So proud of this guy for building something amazing and making his dreams come true. This is what success looks like. I saw the post, liked it, moved on. I was too busy having the best day of my life. We ate catered food, drank good beer and wine, The guitarist played covers of songs we all knew. Someone jumped in the pool fully clothed. Someone else started a game of cornhole. It was perfect. Everything I'd wanted, everything I'd worked for. Around 6, my phone started buzzing. I ignored it. I was in the middle of a conversation with Marcus about our next venture, about what we wanted to build next. It kept buzzing. Finally, I pulled it out. Mom. Nathan, where are you? I stared at the text. Confused. I'm at home, at my party. Why would she be asking where I was? Another text. Dad this time. Dad. We need to talk. Call me. Then James. What the hell, Nathan? Rachel. Why didn't you tell us? I looked at the messages, my confusion growing. Tyler walked over, laughing. Dude, you need to see this. See what? He showed me his phone, the Facebook post from earlier, the photos of my house, the party, everyone having a great time, and the comments. Oh, the comments. Someone had tagged my mom. She'd seen the photos, and she'd commented, "Why weren't we invited to our son's party?" That comment had been posted 20 minutes ago. Since then, it had exploded. My college roommate Chris had replied, "Maybe because you called him an embarrassment?" My mentor David. I've known Nathan for 6 years. He's told me multiple times how his family never supported what he was building. Maybe that's why. Marcus, my co-founder. I remember Thanksgiving 3 years ago when Nathan told me his dad asked when he was getting a real job. This is a real job, and he crushed it. My friend from a coding boot camp. Didn't his uncle toast everyone except him at that birthday party? I heard about that. That was brutal. Tyler. Maybe don't call someone an embarrassment and then expect an invitation. Just a thought. The comments kept coming. Someone had posted a screenshot. A text thread from a family group chat I'd left years ago. I didn't even know someone had saved it. It was Mom, Dad, James, Rachel, Uncle Rick, and Aunt Linda discussing me. James. Nathan's still doing that app thing. How long is he going to keep pretending it's a real career? Mom. I just worry about him. He's wasting his potential. Aunt Linda. Every family has one. The one who doesn't quite make it. We just have to accept it. Dad. I wish he'd just get a stable job, something we could be proud of. The screenshot was there. Public. In the comments of Tyler's Facebook post. For everyone to see. More comments poured in from people I knew. People who'd supported me over the years. This house says otherwise. Looks like the embarrassment is doing just fine. Maybe you should have supported him when it mattered instead of dismissing him for 7 years. He surrounded himself with people who actually believed in him. That's smart. This is what happens when you treat family like they don't matter. Aunt Linda tried to comment. We always loved Nathan. This is all a misunderstanding. We're very proud of him. Someone immediately replied with another screenshot. Her exact words from Uncle Rick's party. Every family has one. The embarrassment. Don't feel bad about it. We still love you. The timestamp was there. The context was there. No way to spin it. Uncle Rick commented, "This is childish. Family should be there for each other. Nathan, you're being petty." 20 people responded within minutes. Where were you when he needed support? You literally skipped over him in your birthday toast, in front of everyone. He's not being petty. He's protecting his peace. Family should support each other. You're right. Where were you for the past 7 years? James tried to defend them. We were always proud of Nathan. We just didn't understand what he was doing. My mentor replied, not understanding is fine. Dismissing is not. There's a difference. Tyler added, you had 7 years to ask, to try to understand. You chose not to. Rachel posted, Nathan, we love you. We're so happy for you. We just wish we could have celebrated together. Marcus responded, you had multiple chances to celebrate with him. At every holiday, every gathering. You chose to make him feel like a failure instead. Chris replied, remember when your mom said, maybe next year will be better for you at Christmas? Like every year was a disappointment? I was there. I heard it. The comments were brutal, honest, public. Everything my family had said and done over the years was being laid bare, and they couldn't control the narrative. My phone was exploding. Text messages, calls, voicemails. Mom, Nathan, take down that post. Dad, people are saying horrible things about us. Make them stop. James, you're making us look bad. This is embarrassing. Rachel, please call me. We need to talk about this. Uncle Rick, you owe us an apology. This is unacceptable. Aunt Linda, how could you do this to us? I read every message, listened to the voicemails. Mom crying, Dad angry. James demanding I fix this. Then I turned off my phone, put it in my pocket, walked back outside to my party. Marcus saw my face. You okay? Yeah, I said. I'm perfect. Family freaking out? Yep. Want to leave? Deal with it? I looked around, at my house, at my friends, at people who'd been there for me when my family wasn't. No, I said. I want to celebrate. I raised my beer. Hey everyone, can I get your attention for a second? The backyard quieted. People turned to look at me. I just want to say thank you to all of you for being here, for supporting me over the years, for believing in me when it would have been easier to doubt. You're my real family, and I'm grateful for every single one of you. People cheered, raised their glasses. To Nathan, Tyler shouted. To success, Marcus added. To surrounding yourself with people who actually give a damn, Chris yelled. Everyone laughed, drank, celebrated. And I felt lighter than I had in years, because I'd finally stopped caring what my family thought. The party went until midnight. People left slowly, hugging me goodbye, telling me they were proud. Tyler was one of the last to leave. That Facebook thing is insane, he said. It's gone viral, like actually viral. What do you mean? He showed me his phone. The post had 4,000 reactions, 800 comments, shared over 200 times. Local news picked it up, he said. There's an article. Man throws party, excludes family who called him embarrassment. Internet responds. I stared at the headline. Holy crap. Yeah, you're famous now, in the best way. People are on your side, like overwhelmingly on your side. My family's going to lose their minds. They already have. Have you checked the family group chat? I'm not in it anymore. Someone leaked screenshots to me. He showed me his phone. A group chat titled Family, Mom, Dad, James, Rachel, David, Uncle Rick, Aunt Linda. All of them. Planning damage control. Discussing how to fix their image. Talking about calling me. Demanding I make a statement. Asking me to take down the post. Not once did anyone say, maybe we were wrong. Not once did anyone apologize for how they'd treated me. They were just upset about looking bad. Not about being bad. They're not going to change, Tyler said quietly. You know that, right? Yeah, I said. I know. Good. Because you don't need them. You never did. After Tyler left, I sat on my back porch. Alone. Looking at my house, my pool, my backyard. Everything I'd built. Without their help. Without their support. Without their approval. I'd done it anyway. And they'd missed it. Not because I'd hidden it, but because they'd never bothered to look. I turned my phone back on. 17 new voicemails. 43 text messages. I deleted them all without reading or listening. Opened Facebook. The post had grown. 5,000 reactions now. Over 1,000 comments. People I didn't know were weighing in. This is what happens when you treat family like they don't matter. Good for him. Surround yourself with people who lift you up, not tear you down. The best revenge is success, and he's clearly succeeded. I had a family like this. Cut them off 5 years ago. Best decision I ever made. Success doesn't need validation from people who never believed in you. I read through the comments for an hour and realized something. I wasn't alone. Thousands of people had experienced this, had families who dismissed them, who made them feel small, who only paid attention when success was undeniable. I told my story, accidentally, publicly, and it had resonated. I posted one comment on Tyler's post. Thank you all for the support. To everyone asking, yes, this is real. Yes, I'm okay. Better than okay. Sometimes the family you choose is more important than the family you're born into. Grateful for everyone who was there today. You know who you are. Then I closed Facebook, went inside, went to bed in my new house, and slept better than I had in years. I woke up Sunday morning to 127 notifications. The Facebook post had continued to grow overnight. Now it had 12,000 reactions, 2,000 comments, shared over 500 times. Local news sites had picked it up. Then regional ones. By Monday morning, a major tech blog had written about it. Tech founder excludes family from success. After years of being called embarrassment, the internet weighs in. The article detailed my company's acquisition, the house, the party, my family's comments over the years, the Facebook explosion. They'd interviewed some of the people who commented. My mentor David, my co-founder Marcus, even Tyler. All of them backing up the story. All of them confirming that yes, my family had treated me like a failure for 7 years. And yes, I'd succeeded anyway. The comments on the tech blog article were just as supportive as Facebook. Good for him. Success doesn't need validation from people who never believed. I cut off my family for similar reasons. Best decision I ever made. They had 7 years to support him. They chose not to. That's on them. The fact that they're more upset about their image than about how they treated him tells you everything. My phone started ringing Monday morning. I turned it back on to check messages from my real friends. First call, Mom. I let it go to voicemail. Second call, Dad. Voicemail. Third call, James. Voicemail. Then texts started coming in. Mom. Nathan, please, we need to talk. This has gotten out of hand. Dad. Call me immediately. This is affecting the whole family. James. Do you have any idea what this is doing to us? Mom's friends are calling her. People at my firm are asking questions. Rachel. I had a patient's parent ask me about this today. At the hospital. This is humiliating. Uncle Rick. You've made your point. Now take down the post and let's move past this. I read every message. Not once did anyone apologize. Not once did anyone acknowledge that maybe, just maybe, they'd been wrong. They were just upset about the consequences, about looking bad publicly, about their friends and colleagues seeing who they really were. I typed one response, sent it to the family group chat I'd been added back to without my permission. I didn't make you look bad. I told the truth. If the truth makes you look bad, that's something you need to deal with, not me. Then I muted the chat. That afternoon, I got a call from a number I didn't recognize. I almost didn't answer. But something made me pick up. Nathan, this is Jennifer Wu from Good Morning America. We'd love to have you on the show to talk about your story. We think it's resonating with a lot of people who've had similar experiences with family dynamics. I sat down. Good Morning America wants to interview me? Yes, we're doing a segment on family expectations and success. Your story is perfect for it. Would you be interested? I need to think about it. Of course. Here's my number. Call me back by Wednesday if you're interested. After we hung up, I sat on my couch, staring at the wall. This had become bigger than I'd expected. Bigger than a Facebook post. Bigger than a local news story. I was becoming the face of something. A movement, almost. People who'd been dismissed by their families. Who'd succeeded anyway. Who'd chosen their peace over family obligations. Tuesday morning, Aunt Linda showed up at my house. I saw her car pull up through the window, watched her sit in the driveway for 5 minutes before getting out. When she knocked, I opened the door but didn't invite her in. Nathan, she said. Her voice was tight, controlled. We need to talk. About what? About what you've done. About the damage you've caused. I haven't done anything. I had a party. Someone posted photos, that's it. You know that's not true. You deliberately excluded us. You knew it would hurt us. And now you're letting the internet destroy our reputation. I'm not letting the internet do anything. They're reacting to the truth. The truth? Her voice got sharper. The truth is, we've always loved you. We've always been proud of you. Maybe we didn't understand what you were doing, but that doesn't mean we didn't care. You called me an embarrassment, she flinched. That was taken out of context. What context? You said, and I quote, "Every family has one, the embarrassment." To my face, at Uncle Rick's birthday party. How is that out of context? I was trying to make you feel better. By calling me an embarrassment? How does that make anyone feel better? You're twisting my words. No, I'm repeating them. Exactly as you said them. The only difference is now everyone knows. She stood there, mouth opening and closing, looking for an angle, a way to make this my fault. You need to make a statement, she said finally. Tell people this was a misunderstanding, that we're a loving family, that you overreacted. No. Nathan, I'm not lying for you. I'm not pretending the past 7 years didn't happen. I'm not making you feel better about how you treated me. We're family. You're related to me. There's a difference. She stared at me like I'd slapped her. You're going to regret this, she said quietly, when you realize what you've thrown away. I haven't thrown away anything. You did. 7 years ago. You just didn't notice until now. She turned and walked back to her car. Got in. Drove away. I closed the door and leaned against it. My hands were shaking. Not from anger, from adrenaline. From finally saying everything I'd wanted to say for years. That evening, Marcus called. Dude, have you seen the response? To what? The tech blog article got picked up by Business Insider, then Forbes, then Wall Street Journal. You're everywhere. What? Check Twitter. You're trending. Choose. Your family is a thing now because of your story. I opened Twitter. He was right. Choose Your Family was trending. Thousands of people sharing their own stories, about families who dismissed them, about succeeding anyway, about choosing the people who actually supported them. My story had become a rallying cry. People were posting photos of their own chosen families, their friends, their mentors, the people who believed in them when blood relatives didn't. This is insane, I said. It's resonating, Marcus said, because it's real. How many people have families like yours? Who make them feel like failures? Who only care when success is undeniable? A lot, apparently. I didn't mean for this to happen, but it did. And now you have a choice. You can hide from it, or you can own it. Use your platform to help other people who've been through the same thing. How do I do that? Start by telling your story, fully, on your terms. Not through screenshots and Facebook comments. Actually tell it. Wednesday morning, I called Jennifer Wu back. I'll do the interview, I said. But I want to be clear about something. I'm not doing this for revenge. I'm doing this because I think my story might help other people. That's exactly why we want you, she said. We've been getting emails from viewers, people asking us to cover stories like yours, family dynamics, success, the pressure to conform. You're giving voice to something a lot of people feel but don't know how to express. The interview was scheduled for the following Monday. That gave me a week to prepare, to decide what I wanted to say, how I wanted to tell my story. Thursday, I got an email. From Mom. The subject line, "Please read this." I almost deleted it. But curiosity won. Nathan, I'm writing this because you won't answer my calls, because I need you to hear me, even if you don't want to listen. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for every, at least you're trying. I'm sorry for every, maybe next year. I'm sorry for not understanding what you were building, for dismissing it as that computer thing instead of asking you to explain it. I'm sorry we made you feel like a failure when you were actually succeeding. You're right. We treated you like you didn't matter, like your accomplishments were less important because we didn't understand them. And I'm sorry it took all of this public humiliation, for me to see it. I love you. I've always loved you. But I didn't show it the way you needed. I didn't support you the way you deserved. I'm not asking you to forgive me right away. I'm not asking you to fix our relationship overnight. I'm just asking you to know that I see it now. I see what we did wrong. And I'm sorry. If you ever want to talk, I'm here. Mom. I read it 3 times. It was the closest thing to a real apology I'd gotten. No excuses, no justifications, just acknowledgement. But it also came after everything blew up, after the internet saw, after her friends called asking questions. Was she sorry for how she'd treated me? Or sorry that everyone now knew how she'd treated me? I didn't know, I wrote back. One line. Thank you for the apology. I need time. I didn't say how much time, didn't promise anything, just acknowledged that I'd hurt her. Friday, Dad called. I answered. Nathan, he said. His voice was rough, tired. I saw what your mother wrote. I agree with every word. We failed you. I failed you. Yeah, you did. I thought I was being practical, encouraging you toward stability. A real job, as I kept saying. But you had a real job. You were building something incredible, and I was too stubborn to see it. Why are you calling, Dad? Because I owe you an apology, face to face if you'll let me, but right now, over the phone because I can't wait any longer. I'm sorry for everything, for making you feel like you weren't enough, for comparing you to James and Rachel and David, for not celebrating you the way I should have. His voice broke. You bought your dream house, and I didn't even know. I didn't know because I never asked, never cared enough to pay attention. I'm proud of you, Nathan. I should have said that 7 years ago. I should have said it every day since. I'm sorry I didn't. I sat in silence, processing. I appreciate you saying that, I finally said. Can we talk? In person? I want to see the house, want to hear about what you built, want to actually listen instead of dismissing. Not yet, but maybe soon. Okay, I'll wait. However long it takes. After we hung up, I sat on my couch for a long time. They were apologizing. Really apologizing. But 7 years of hurt doesn't disappear with sorry. 7 years of feeling invisible doesn't vanish with one conversation. Saturday, I met Tyler for coffee. How are you holding up? He asked. I don't know. My family's apologizing. The internet's on my side. Good Morning America wants to interview me. It's a lot. Are you going to forgive them? Your family? I don't know. Part of me wants to. They're still my parents, my siblings. But another part remembers every holiday, every gathering, every time they made me feel worthless. You don't have to forgive them, Tyler said. Not right away, not ever, if you don't want to. Forgiveness is for you, not them. Don't do it because you feel obligated. What would you do? Honestly, I'd take my time. Let them sit with their apology. See if they actually change or if they're just sorry they got caught. How do I tell the difference? Time and actions. Talk is cheap. Change is expensive. See what they're willing to pay. That night, I sat down and wrote out everything I wanted to say in the Good Morning America interview. Not a script, just notes, key points, about building something when nobody believed in you, about the cost of family dismissal, about finding your people, about success not needing validation, about choosing yourself when choosing family means choosing pain. Monday morning, I flew to New York, did the interview, told my story, honestly, fully. Jennifer Wu was compassionate, asked hard questions, but gave me space to answer. Do you think you'll ever reconcile with your family? I don't know, I said. They've apologized. That matters. But apologies don't erase 7 years of hurt. I need time. I need to see if they actually change or if they're just managing their image. What would you say to people watching who've experienced something similar? That you're not alone. That you're not wrong for protecting your peace. That family should support you, and if they don't, it's okay to find people who will. Success doesn't need their approval. You don't need their approval. The interview aired Wednesday morning. Within an hour, it had been viewed 2 million times online. The comments were overwhelming. This made me cry. I've been the family embarrassment my whole life. I needed to hear this. Thank you for having the courage to tell your story. Cutting off toxic family was the hardest and best decision I ever made. Your success is the best revenge. You didn't need them. You proved that. My phone buzzed. Text from Mom. I watched your interview. I understand why you need time. Take all the time you need. I love you. No demands, no guilt, just acceptance. Maybe that was progress. Maybe that was a change. Time would tell. 3 months after the interview, life started to feel normal again. The media attention faded. The Facebook posts stopped getting new comments. Twitter moved on to the next trending topic, but the impact remained. I got emails every day, sometimes dozens, from people who'd watched the interview, who'd read the articles, who'd seen themselves in my story. Thank you for giving me permission to choose myself. I cut off my toxic family after watching your interview. Best decision I ever made. Your story helped me realize I'm not alone. I responded to as many as I could, tried to offer support, encouragement, validation, because I knew what it felt like to think you were the problem. To believe that maybe your family was right and you were the failure. I knew what it felt like to finally realize you weren't the problem. They were. During those 3 months, I kept minimal contact with my family. Mom texted once a week. Nothing demanding, just updates. Thinking of you. Hope you're doing well. No pressure to respond. Dad called once a month, left voicemails, talking about his day, about things he'd learned, about books he was reading about family dynamics and emotional intelligence. He was trying. That much was clear. James sent an email. Long one, apologizing for how he'd defended them, for not standing up for me, for being part of the problem. I was jealous, he wrote. You did something I was too scared to do. You took a risk, built something from nothing. I followed the safe path and convinced myself that made me better than you. It didn't. It just made me conventional. I'm sorry. Rachel sent a handwritten letter, delivered to my house. In it, she detailed every time she'd failed to support me, every gathering where she'd stayed silent when someone dismissed me, every holiday where she'd gone along with treating me like I didn't matter. I was complicit, she wrote. Not speaking up is the same as agreeing. I should have defended you. I should have celebrated you. I didn't. And I'm sorry. Uncle Rick and Aunt Linda didn't reach out at all. I wasn't surprised. 4 months after the interview, I invited Tyler and Marcus over. We sat on my back porch drinking beer, watching the sun set over the pool. How are you doing? Marcus asked. Really? Better, I said. The anger's gone. Now it's just sadness, I guess. Sadness for what it could have been if they'd been different. Are you going to forgive them? Tyler asked. I think so, eventually. But forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting. Doesn't mean going back to how things were. What does it mean then? It means moving forward without the weight of resentment. It means acknowledging they're trying without pretending the past didn't happen. That's healthy, Marcus said. More healthy than I'd be. I'm trying. Therapy helps. You're in therapy? Yeah. Started 2 months ago. Figured if I'm going to process all this, I should do it right. Good for you, man. Seriously. 5 months after the interview, I agreed to meet my parents for coffee. Just them. No James, no Rachel, no extended family, just mom and dad. We met at a neutral location, a coffee shop halfway between my house and theirs. They arrived early. I saw them through the window, sitting at a corner table, looking nervous. I took a deep breath and walked in. Nathan, Mom said, standing up immediately. She looked like she wanted to hug me but wasn't sure if she should. I hugged her. Brief. Awkward. But a start. Hi, Mom, Dad. We sat down, ordered coffee, sat in uncomfortable silence. Finally, Dad spoke. Thank you for agreeing to meet us. I'm not saying everything's fixed, but I'm willing to try. That's all we're asking, Mom said. Her eyes were red, like she'd been crying before I arrived. We've been working on ourselves, going to counseling, reading books, trying to understand where we went wrong. And? I asked. And we were terrible to you, Dad said bluntly. We were so focused on conventional success that we couldn't see what you were building. We made you feel worthless when you were actually creating something incredible. I spent 7 years trying to get you to notice, I said. 7 years hoping you'd ask, hoping you'd care. We should have noticed, Mom said. That's on us, not you. You shouldn't have had to prove yourself to us. We should have just believed in you. Why didn't you? She thought about it for a long time. Fear, I think. Fear that if you failed, we'd have to watch you struggle. It was easier to dismiss what you were doing than to risk being disappointed. But that's not your burden to carry. That's ours. I was never going to be James or Rachel or David, I said. I was never going to be a lawyer or a doctor or take over a family business. That wasn't me. We know, Dad said, and we're sorry we made you feel like that was a problem. We talked for 2 hours about the past, about what hurt, about what needed to change going forward. By the end, nothing was fixed. But something had shifted. They weren't asking me to forget. They weren't asking me to pretend it didn't happen. They were just asking for a chance to do better. I'd like to see the house, Mom said as we were leaving. When you're ready, no pressure. Okay, I said. Maybe in a few weeks. We'll wait, Dad said. However long it takes. 6 months after the interview, I invited them over. Just Mom and Dad. Small steps. They arrived on a Saturday afternoon. I gave them a tour. Showed them every room, explained the architecture, the design choices, the things that made it mine. Mom cried in the home office. This is beautiful, Nathan. Everything you've built, the house, the career, the life. It's beautiful. Thank you. Dad stood in the backyard, looking at the pool, the guest house, the landscaping. You did this, he said quietly. Without us. Without our help. Without our support. You did this. Yeah, I did. I'm proud of you. His voice broke. I should have said that 7 years ago. Every day since. But I'm saying it now. I'm so proud of you. We stood there for a while. Not saying anything. Just existing in the same space without tension. Before they left, Mom hugged me. Longer this time, tighter. I love you, she said. I've always loved you. I just didn't know how to show it the way you needed. I know, Mom. I love you too. 8 months after the interview, James called. Hey, I know we haven't talked much, but I wanted you to know, I quit the firm. You what? I quit. Handed in my resignation last week. I'm starting my own practice, smaller. More focused on helping people instead of making partner. James, that's huge. I know, it's terrifying. But watching you take that risk 7 years ago and succeed, it made me realize I've been playing it safe my whole life. I don't want to do that anymore. I'm proud of you. Thanks. And Nathan, I'm sorry. For everything. For not standing up for you. For being part of the problem. You deserved better from me. I appreciate that. Think we could grab dinner sometime, just us? I want to hear about what you're working on now. Really hear it. Not just nod along like I understand. Yeah, I'd like that. 10 months after the interview, Rachel invited me to her daughter's birthday party. My niece. 4 years old. I'd barely seen her over the years because family gatherings had become so toxic. I know it's a lot to ask, Rachel said on the phone, but Sophia keeps asking about her Uncle Nathan. She saw photos of your house and thinks you're the coolest person ever. I laughed. She does? Yeah, please come. I want her to actually know you, not just know of you. I went. Brought a present. Played with the kids. Talked with Rachel and her husband like adults instead of adversaries. It was nice. Normal. The way family should be. 1 year after the interview, I hosted Thanksgiving at my house. Not the whole family. Just the people who'd put in the work. Mom, Dad, James, Rachel, and their families. Tyler came too. And Marcus. And a few other friends who'd been there from the beginning. Mixing chosen family with blood family. Creating something new. Before dinner, I stood up to make a toast. A year ago, I had a housewarming party. I invited 75 people. None of them were family. That decision went viral. Became this whole thing. Changed my life. Everyone listened quietly. I don't regret that decision. I needed to protect myself. Needed to show that I didn't need validation from people who'd spent years making me feel worthless. But I learned something this year. that people can change, that apologies can be real. That family isn't about being perfect. It's about being willing to do the work. I looked at my parents, at James and Rachel. Thank you for doing the work, for going to therapy, for actually listening, for trying to understand instead of dismiss. It doesn't erase the past, but it creates a different future. Mom was crying. Dad had his arm around her. To growth, I said, raising my glass. To second chances. To chosen family and blood family coexisting. To all of us being better. Everyone raised their glasses. To Nathan, Tyler added, for having the courage to tell his story, and for teaching us all that it's okay to choose yourself. We ate, we laughed, we told stories. And for the first time in years, I felt like I belonged at a family gathering. Not because I'd conformed, not because I'd become what they wanted, but because they'd finally learned to accept who I'd always been. After everyone left, I sat on my back porch, alone with my thoughts. The house was quiet. The pool lights reflected on the water. Stars filled the sky. I thought about the past year, about going viral, about the interview, about the emails from strangers, about my family's apologies and my decision to give them another chance. I pulled out my phone, opened Facebook, found Tyler's original post from a year ago, the one that had started everything. I read through the comments again, thousands of them, people supporting me, people sharing their own stories, people finding strength in knowing they weren't alone. I typed a new comment. 1 year later. A lot has happened since this party. I've learned that healing isn't linear, that forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting, that family can change if they're willing to do the work, and that the people who supported me when it mattered will always be my real family, whether they're blood or chosen. Thank you all for your support, for your stories, for helping me realize I wasn't alone. We're all just trying our best. Sometimes that means protecting ourselves. Sometimes it means giving second chances. Both are okay. Trust yourself to know which one you need. I posted it, closed the app, put my phone away. The comment would probably get buried. Nobody was reading that old post anymore. But it didn't matter, because I wasn't posting it for them. I was posting it for me. A marker of growth, of healing, of choosing a different path. I stood up, walked through my house, my beautiful, hard-earned dream house. Every room represented something I'd built without their approval. Every piece of furniture was a choice I'd made without their input. Every photo on the wall was a memory they hadn't been part of. And that was okay. Because I'd built this life, this success, this peace. They'd missed it. But they were here now. And that was enough. Not perfect, but enough. Some families never change. Some apologies never come. But mine did. And I chose to accept that. To move forward. To create something new while honoring what I'd learned. The embarrassment had become the success story. The dismissal had become validation. The family that didn't believe had learned to believe. And the man they'd underestimated had proven, to himself more than anyone, that he never needed their approval to succeed. He just needed his own. And that, I'd learned, was the greatest gift of all.